Back to the CHF Overtime Podcast. My name is Jordan DeLuciano, as always, and we got a special edition. We have a two-parter. We got 2 interviews coming in the 12 o'clock hour, 3 interviews coming in the 2 o'clock hour, and kicking it off today, we'll be representing the Howies Players of the Month. We'll be going conference by conference, and starting it off will be the Empire Conference Howies Player of the Month, representing Farmingdale State, John McCann. John, welcome back. Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Thanks for having me on again, Jordan.
No problem, John. No problem. So how does it feel to represent the Empire Conference in the first Player of the Month this season?
It feels good. I've been putting in a lot of work, a lot of effort, just trying to get the wins, not really looking too much into stats, just looking to contribute to my team, helping us get wins. So whatever comes along with it.
So this Farmingdale team, currently they sit at number 2 in the CHF National rankings, but they also have, as you personally, the most difficult schedule in the entire CHF. How has your team handled that difficulty so far in the season?
Well, in the beginning half of our schedule, we kind of wanted a couple games to get our feet wet. New team, new chemistry, needed to get that building. I feel like going into this weekend, we got a tough schedule for second half, and not only this weekend, but I think mentally we've prepared for this moment and for the rest of the season, looking at it, and we're looking to come out on top of our entire schedule. We know it's going to be a battle. We know we're going to be hurt, but we're just going to have to lick bruises, wounds, and get out there and play.
How do you think a tough schedule like this has readied you for situations like this upcoming weekend where you go upstate, which we'll get into in a little bit, as well as tournaments like the Fed Cup in March?
Yeah, so last year it felt like a little problem, playing the same teams over and over again, getting those weaker teams like Hofstra, Connecticut State. Now that we got our schedule really loaded with all these great caliber teams, it gets us ready for nationals. And, when we have to see different teams from all over the country, it makes us our style of play a little different.
You guys have been a little bit banged up as of late, going into many games past couple of weekends. How have you guys handled those injuries?
It's the next person in line. That's just got to be the mentality. You got to be ready to go on this team. You don't know who's going to be in, who's going to be out with the injuries we got. You just got to be ready to go on all cylinders, no matter what. If you've been scratched last game, not much ice time, don't matter. You got to be ready to go on this team at all costs.
You mentioned next guy up. What are ways guys have stepped up to handle this injury bug?
Well, we got Kyler Rowe. He's been trying to find his spot on lines and stuff, and then losing Greg Hendrickson, so that's not an easy loss to take, but Kyle's filled that spot pretty well and stepped up big for us, continuing his first line.
Someone who you has been in the lineup with since day one with you guys on your line, as well as someone you played with back in high school, I believe, Matthew Hawkins, right?
Yep, yeah.
Could you speak to your chemistry, because you guys go all the way back to high school days?
Yeah, so me and Hawkins, we even go even further than that. We played with each other in high school. We've known each other since we were probably about 5 years old, playing roller hockey, deck hockey. We've been playing together forever. So, that chemistry it's just there, and it always will be there. So it makes everything so much easier on the ice to really just slide anybody into our spot with us, and we can really get everybody going, whoever's with us.
So your most recent game was against Fairfield University. They overcame two goal deficits in that one to knock you guys off in overtime. What went wrong in that overtime loss to Fairfield?
I just think as a team, we gotta learn situations where we're up 2 goals. We don't really need to bury any more goals as it is. Let's lock down and really contribute on team defense. And I think that's where we went wrong, and that's how we let them come right back in the game. We went up 2 goals. Next thing you know, it was a goal and a goal tie game. And I think it was just because we were a little lackadaisical on the defensive side and looking to score more goals instead of just stealing the game.
So how do you guys go about that this week in practice to get that quick, short memory and erase that out of your minds?
Yeah, so you want to learn from it too at the same time. We learned that it's not our first blown lead this year. So I think, especially to Fairfield, we haven't lost them since 2019. And, losing to them at home after blowing the lead kind of makes us really get the mindset all right, we need to lock in as a team, and let's forget about it, but let's also learn from it, bringing into this weekend. So if we go up a goal or two on the next team that we play, we got to learn how to lock down defensively and really commit to buying in and winning.
Yeah, like you said, first win they have against you since 2019, so everyone's due eventually, and a very good comeback on their end. A nice shot by Vincent Spazianti that got the win. But in that game, you had key contributions from, like you mentioned before, guys stepping up. Joey DeCanio was out that game, and Kyle Marchiona played very well in that, as well as you got a big goal from Eric Immel that game, right? That broke the 2-2 tie.
Yep. Yeah, Eric's been great. New kid this year. I played with him in juniors on Long Beach, but you know what you're gonna get out of him. He's a nasty, tenacity, little kid. He loves to grind in the corners. He moves his feet all game. He's just a kid that you can't replace. You need him on the ice.
So this weekend, we teased it before. Let's get into it. You're going upstate for the first time to take on the upstate Collegiate Hockey League. You got Binghamton, Bonaventure, and Niagara. What's the team talking about throughout this week? How are you guys preparing going into a tough weekend against number 1 Bonaventure, number 3 ranked Binghamton, and number 4 ranked Niagara?
Yeah, so we know how their play style really is, playing Bonnies last year. Same thing with Binghamton. You know what you're going to get out of those upper New York State teams. They're in your face all game. Don't stop moving their feet. They bang bodies all game. They're really fast. They like to play very physical. So you just got to have that mindset, not let them get under your skin, and we got to play the same way and bring back that same energy going against them.
Last year, first game is against Bonaventure this weekend. It's on Friday night. They knocked you guys out last year in the final game of pool play. Is there any chip on Farmingdale's shoulder going to this one, or is it new season, fresh look?
Nah, it's definitely a chip on the shoulder, especially for all the guys that have been here since last year. We've been looking forward to this game. Off season, first thing we did was talk to the coaches and John Rochester, and we talked about getting them on our schedule. We want to see them again before we get into nationals. We want to finish off the deal that we should have done last year at nationals.
How have the new guys on this team, the rookies, the freshmen, or some guys that are transfers from juniors or from other colleges, how have they accustomed to the Farmingdale play style and to this level of competition?
I think they've done very well. I think first 2 games was a little bit of an eye-opener at how fast this league really is. It is just club hockey, but they don't realize that, there's a lot of skilled guys in this league, a lot of fast guys. You got to get up to the pace. So they've been fitting in really well. They fit into our play style, our system very well, and they've just been contributing on all ends.
And what do you expect to see going into this weekend upstate against number 1, 3, and 4?
Fast pace, a lot of bodies banging, a lot of hockey playing. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Later today, I'm interviewing Owen Hughes from Bonaventure. He was the player of the month for the upstate. So I'll get the other side of the story from Owen. But quickly, before I send you off, John, Empire Conference Player of the Month, what is your play style that has led to the success so far for you early on in the year?
My play style, it ranges. I like to I just don't stop moving my feet. I'm in those corners, digging out pucks. I grind, I battle in front of the net. And I really just look to help contribute to the team in any way, any aspect. So if that comes with goals, comes with assists, then comes with that. But I just want to contribute to the team, and whatever I got to do to win, that's all I got.
And you recently got the A on your jersey, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What's that mean to have a letter and represent a leadership role for this team?
It feels great, especially knowing all those former captains that Farmingdale's had, So just being placed in that special spot, along with all the other captains, you just know that, you got a great coaching staff behind you, great staff in general for support. So it felt great to get that letter.
All right. Well, John, thanks for hopping on again. Appreciate taking the time away from work, because I know you're at work right now. So good luck this weekend, and I'll see you soon, because you guys going on a pretty decent road trip now after this weekend at Bonnie's, right? You're not back till like mid-December.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, long trek after you guys had a pretty good homestand to start off the year.
Yeah, we'll take the homestand, and now we're going to be on a long away one. So it is what it is, but you're going to come out on top.
All right. Once again, I want to thank John McCann, representing the Empire Conference. He's the Howie Player of the Month from Empire, representing Farmingdale State. Good luck this weekend, and I'll talk to you soon, John. All right.
Thank you, Jordan. I appreciate it. Have a good one.
Be good, man. So once again, that was John McCann. Second time on the show. He joined recently, a couple weeks ago. That was when there was the connection issues. He wasn't able to join in the moment, and we had to reschedule for later in the day as I get our next guest readied up right now. So I mentioned 2 of the 12 o'clock hour. Coming up next will be Nick Sasso from the High Point University. And then I have 3 coming up in the 2 o'clock hour at 2:15. It'll be David Israel, Cam Moore, and Owen Hughes. they will be hopping onto the podcast. But unfortunately, due to the scheduling issues, John Gallagher, representing the University of New Hampshire, defenseman over there, he was the player of the month for the New England Independent Hockey Conference. His interview will be pushed to next Monday. So this upcoming Monday, John Gallagher will come on alone, and it'll just be him. It'll be me and him for a nice 15-minute conversation about his team and his success in the New England Independent Hockey Conference. So University of New Hampshire, don't worry, you're not being pushed off to the side, just scheduling issues, and John will be hopping on the podcast this upcoming Monday. So to finish up the 12 o'clock hour, though, joining me now representing the High Point University out of North Carolina, Nick Sasso. Nick, thanks for joining the podcast.
Thanks for having me on here.
No problem. So you guys are off to a good start this year, but quickly with you, representing the Atlantic Coast Collegiate Hockey League, you're the player of the month. How's that feel to get that honor in October?
It was a great feeling. Worked really hard for it, and it just feels good to be recognized.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're off to a very good start. 22 points in only 8 games played. What is your play style that has led to this success?
I'm a very offensive player, so when I get in the zone, I really get in there and forecheck, and I wouldn't do this without my line mates. My line mates find me and feed me the puck and let me do my thing.
So are you the guy? Yeah, you're the guy that goes into the corners and they like to set you up. Do you like to get your goals? Like, because when I played, I like to get my goals in the crease. Do you like to do the same, or you find some space in the slot, top of the circle?
I can score from anywhere. I score in front of the net. I have a great shot. I can rip it. I can score multiple different ways.
Yeah, I believe you. 12 goals in those 8 games. So your words are very much backed up there. So far, you guys really haven't dabbled that much within your own conference. I've seen some out-of-conference games. But looking in the Atlantic Coast Collegiate Hockey League, where do you see as your biggest competition? What teams are you eyeing?
So Liberty is a really good team. I'm only a freshman, so I haven't really seen anybody yet.
Yes.
But from watching the games last year, Liberty was a good team, and Coastal is also a very good team. But every team in our conference is good. We have to be prepared for every game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was CNU also in your conference. They had a very good showing, kind of like the Cinderella team at last year's Federation Cup. I know you were a freshman, but they came in as the unknown, knocked off number 1 Tampa in pool play, and wound up going to the quarterfinals. But you mentioned, yes, you are a freshman. How has the game changed from your previous time in hockey right before college now to playing in the CHF?
Everybody's much bigger and much stronger. So I'm going to have to get stronger. I'm pretty big guy. So all I have to do is get stronger, and I'll be up to speed with all of them.
So you guys are going up. Your next game, according to the CHF website, is Appalachian State, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, they're a relatively new team here in the CHF, and they're a very good start, 5-3-2. You guys are 5-2-1. Would you say this is your toughest competition yet in Appalachian State?
Yeah, I think it would be. It's going to be a tough week of practice, tough to get prepared for it. It's a big game, big conference game, so we're going to have to be ready to go. It's going to be a very good team.
High Point University, kind of everyone, you mentioned teams in the Atlantic, you think of Liberty, think of Coastal, but High Point, you guys are off to a very good start. Like I mentioned, 5-2-1. What is the game strategy? What is the game style of your team that has gotten you to this point so far?
We try to be a scrappy team and a really good defensive team. We pride ourselves on defense and on our penalty kill, and our penalty kill has been very good, and our power play has been very good. So we're a special teams team as well. As long as we play even 5-on-5, and then we capitalize on our power plays and keep our penalty kill stays good, we'll be fine.
Have you guys been efficient in the special teams unit so far on both ends, penalty kill and power playing?
Yeah, we have been very efficient. We've been probably our coach said 95% on the PK and 33% on the power play. So that's been very good for us.
There you go. Is it what do you guys do that is so successful? We'll start on the shorthanded. Are you guys aggressive? Are you passive? Are you getting in shooting lanes, sticks and puck and passing lanes?
We try to get our sticks and passing lanes, and we tend to be aggressive, but sometimes we'll back off. And then once we see the defenseman or the forward bobble the puck, we'll pounce and we'll be right on them to clear it.
Mm-hmm. And on that power play, do you guys work an umbrella? Do you work 2 at the point? You guys look to go to the bumper slotted a lot. How do you guys maintain that 33% effectiveness on the power play?
Somewhere around 33%. Yeah, we run an umbrella, and our QB is just really good. He gets the puck to the net. Ryan Henry gets puck to the net. We crash the net. I'm in front of the net, big body. Usually can't really see around me.
Yeah.
So those go in. Another shout out to Morgan Bird. He has a great shot from the right side. Just rips it and he scores a lot.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned you're sitting in front of the net on the power play, looking for those deflections and those screens. What's a way you work on improving your hand-eye coordination to get those deflections? Because it's very hard to deflect that puck, especially coming as fast as you mentioned from your point men and going through all those bodies.
Yeah, after practice, we stay for a good 10, 15 minutes working on tipping. So I always work on it. I've always been pretty good at it because that's where my coaches have always put me. So I've always had like a little knack for tipping.
Mm-hmm.
And so and then after practice, we work on it a lot for a good 10, 15 minutes after practice.
That'll do it. That will definitely do it. So you guys are going up in beginning of December, not up, should I say. You guys are going against the College Hockey South. You have Tennessee and Clemson, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So how's the team feeling? Oh, you're not just playing non-CHF opponents. You're going now to the College Hockey South, which is a very competitive division against two very good teams in Clemson and Tennessee.
Yeah, they're very good. We're going to be ready for the test, but we're worried about App State right now. But once we get there, they're going to be two very good teams that we'll see how we rank up against them.
How's your experience so far been in the CHF and with High Point University in your freshman year so far?
It's been a great experience so far. Having a lot of fun with the guys, and just producing is making it so much better. You
mentioned you're kind of not looking at Tennessee and Clemson right now. You're looking at Appalachian State. But is there any matchup that you've seen on the calendar that opens your eye? You're like, oh, I want to get a look at these guys.
Yeah, probably Tennessee. I've been excited to play them. When they came with the schedule, I was excited to go there and play them.
Yeah. They're off to they started off the season very strongly. I had their captain on earlier in the season. Yeah, very solid team. And they were promoted before the season by the CHF's commissioner to say, hey, look out for this Tennessee team. And so far, so good with them. But I don't know if you have, if you're able to check, you guys are now ranked in the CHF rankings. I believe you guys are 30. You guys are just outside the top 30. Yeah, you're 31. You guys popped into the rankings due to this 5-2-1 beginning of the season. How do you guys go about maintaining this success going forward? And now probably not just being a bubble team on that top 30, maybe creeping inside top 25.
I think we're just going to keep doing what we're doing. And beginning of the season, I kind of thought we were like underdogs and we snuck up on people, but now people know who we are. So now I have to be ready for people being like, oh, we're playing High Point. We got to be ready for them. So I have to be ready for that element of the other team.
Is your team mainly comprised of young guys, or you guys got a lot of seniors on your High Point squad?
We're a lot of young guys. We're mostly freshmen and sophomores, and then just a couple seniors, couple juniors here and there, but we're mostly freshmen and sophomores.
I was looking at the roster before you coming on. A lot of different names, a lot of names I don't see anymore there. And then one that stuck out was you, and put it together, you being the freshman. Do you feel, as a freshman, you mentioned earlier, and you're the team leading scorer, you got 12 goals and 22 points in these short 8 games so far. Do you feel, first year on the team, is there any weight on your shoulders now that you've taken control of being that guy on the team?
I would say there's a little weight on my shoulder, a little pressure for me, but I try to not think about it and just try to go out there and just play how I play and just try not let the pressure affect me.
Sounds good. Well, Nick, thanks for joining the podcast. I appreciate it. Appreciate you being able to work with me yesterday. I was trying to find you, but eventually worked out. Thanks for coming on. Good luck the rest of the way. Good luck against Appalachian State. And I hope to talk to you soon, hopefully at the Fed Cup. And if the way you guys keep playing sustains, I'll definitely be seeing you guys at the Fed Cup.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
So once again, my name is Jordan DeLuciano, this time joined alongside the Howies ACCHL Player of the Month, who just dipped out, Nick Sasso. Also, guys, like I mentioned before, keep in mind, I had 2 just now at 2:15. We'll be coming back with the CHF Overtime Podcast. I'll be coming back on with FAU's David Israel, as well as Penn State Harrisburg's Cam Moore, and then finishing up with St. Bonaventure's Owen Hughes. And we talked to John McCann before. Now we're going to talk to Owen Hughes. They're going to see each other on Friday. It's their first meeting since Bonaventure knocked out Farmingdale at the Fed Cup. And again, a reminder to the University of New Hampshire friends, family, friends, staff, whatever, coaching staff. We didn't forget about you. It'll be pushed to Monday. So John Gallagher, the defenseman, and the Howies Player of the Month out of the NEIHC, he will be coming on Monday. So I will be one-on-one with John on Monday. So everyone be on the lookout for that. But for now, I will see you all later at 2:15 when Cam Moore, Owen Hughes, and David Israel join the CHF Overtime Podcast.